Hi, my name's Joey. I'm an organizer with WPEA, and today we're going to talk about letter writing campaigns. Now, we'll not only cover why letter writing matters, but also what to expect when a campaign is active. Coordinated letter writing is an important tool in our collective action toolkit. And by the end of this session, hopefully you'll be more confident in how these campaigns are structured so that you will feel comfortable participating in a future letter writing campaign. So let's get started. So first, let's answer the obvious question. In the high-tech world of today, how is it that writing letters is still relevant and effective? Well, regardless of how they're delivered, whether by horseback or through email, letters are just text. They're just words, and it's not the words themselves that carry this practice along, even in today's world. The practice of writing letters is maintained because those letters come from you. When you write a letter, they are no longer just words. They're your voice, immortalized in written language. So as we begin, allow me to share the 5 goals of every letter writing campaign. The first is visibility. Letters put our concerns in writing, and it makes it a lot harder for management to ignore, and it makes it a lot harder for them to claim ignorance of the situation later. The second goal is education. By sharing personal stories, members help management to understand the real-world impact that their decisions are making. Sharing your stories personalizes the impacts, and you become a human rather than minimized to a category like employee or state worker. The third goal is to foster unity, because every letter reflects the solidarity of our membership. Remember, always we are together, stronger. And with more voices, we bolster not only our strength, but we also secure our safety in numbers. The fourth goal is influence. Your words are not to be ignored. They are to be read, and they are to be heard. Each of us operates every day with a collection of influences in our minds that we have collected over the years. And by sharing your voice, you seek to become one of those voices in management's head, guiding them as they make their decisions. And the fifth and final goal of any letter writing campaign is documentation. Every letter serves as a part of a permanent record, building momentum for future actions and solidifying our collective voice, lest any participant ever claim that we did not speak or act. So, now that we understand the purpose of letter writing campaigns, let's talk about the timeline. So, a letter writing campaign typically unfolds over about 2 to 3 weeks. So, here's about what that's going to look like. So, the first phase is just going to be preparation. So all of this is going to be behind the scenes. So this is going to be union staff alongside impacted members preparing materials, identifying key points, and coordinating all those resources that are going to be shared with the general membership in the following week. And the next part of the timeline is the following 1 to 2 weeks. During that phase, that's when, members are sending their letters. And the goal there is really simple. Every member sends a single letter. In some cases, that letter may need to go to multiple recipients to ensure broad visibility, but the aim is to have an overwhelming number of letters being sent in a very short time. This is why a letter writing campaign is often used first, because it has a very fast timeline. These letters have the most impact when they're delivered in a large collection quickly. So, what are some things that you can keep in mind to participate effectively inside of a letter writing campaign? Firstly, you want to make sure to use your personal email address. When you send an email from your personal email address, you're strengthening your free speech rights by acting as a private citizen. And it also avoids any arguments management may have about a misuse of state resources down the line. The second thing you want to make sure to do is to CC solidarity@wpea.org when you send your letter. This helps us to track participation, and for some campaigns, we may even update a website showing how many letters have been sent so far. And the third and final thing to keep in mind is your tone and your wording. Now, the tone of the letter is up to you. We always do encourage members to be polite but firm, but remember, this is your voice, so the tone should match how you feel. However, when it comes to wording, make sure to follow the union's messaging points. We want to make sure that we're all on the same page. So templates will always be provided in addition to the key points that we want all members to focus on. But feel free to personalize your letter to reflect your own perspective as it relates to those key points. Now, what if you've submitted your letter and the next day when you come into work, your manager calls you into their office to talk to you about the message that you sent? Since you've been acting as a union member and using your personal email address, management should not respond negatively to your participation. However, if a supervisor or manager does react inappropriately or pressures you about your involvement, it is very important that you take immediate action by contacting your staff representative and contacting your stewards. They will educate that offending supervisor, ensuring that your rights are protected and that the supervisor understands what they do and what they do not have control over. They do not have the ability to tell you what you may or may not say as a private citizen. Now, once you've sent your letter, the next step is to stay connected with the campaign's progress. The best way you can do that is by attending our weekly Unity meetings. These are held every Wednesday via Zoom at 12 p.m., 5 p.m., and 6 p.m. These meetings are where we share updates, discuss outcomes, and talk about what actions might come next. Attending Unity meetings is the best way to stay informed and involved. However, we may also have a website tracker for a letter writing campaign, and this is why it's so important to CC solidarity@wpea.org. When we get letters to that email address, we will update the count on the website, and as the count goes up, other union members not only see how much more support we're gathering, but if there are new members who have not yet participated, that larger number makes them feel more comfortable the bigger it gets, that they're safe to join their voice in the action as well. So in conclusion, participating in a letter writing campaign is one of the simplest but most impactful ways to make your voice heard. Remember, the campaign only requires one letter from each of us, but together, our collective efforts not only show the employer that we are all concerned about this topic, but it also gives the employer multiple perspectives to explore, increasing the chances that one of those perspectives might become a new voice that the employer thinks about in the future when similar decisions are brought to them. So I want to thank you all for spending some time with me today to learn about letter writing campaigns. Now that you understand these campaigns a little bit better, I hope that when your union asks you to share your voice in a letter, you will not only feel confident to participate yourself, but now that you have some additional context to convince your coworkers to get involved as well. Because remember, we are stronger together always. So thanks for spending some time with me. And if you've participated in a letter writing campaign recently or sometime in the past, feel free to drop your experience down in the comments, and I look forward to talking with you again. Have a great day.